DJ Excess. We hanging out at the Copper Blues, but for a minute, had to get to the right and go visit my man, David Walker from Positivity Water. David, how you doing, my man?
Excellent, excellent. How you doing, Epps, man? You always bring great energy to the show. Good energy person, man. I always enjoy talking to you. You know that.
Oh man, same here. And I just want to say thank you for everything, man. Everything with the brand Positivity Water, for being a great friend, advice, attorney at law, all that, man. So, just thank you. Thank you very much, man. How's your day? How you been, brother?
My day's good. Every day is a great day, and you just try to do your best and approach it with enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Yes.
And that's where I sit today, is to see what has plans. When my kids and I talk for dinner, sometimes you say, hey, what happened today? And instead now we say, what happened today that you didn't expect to happen? Because we all have a plan, and then the day happens, right? So
Right.
that's where I am.
Right. If anybody doesn't know about Positivity Water, it is one of the best, in my opinion, number one alkaline water out there right now. David introduced me to this water. He came to Miami, he came with a briefcase like he was James Bond, you know what I mean, and presented the water to me. I loved it. I took interest in taking part of not just promoting it, but, taking shares with it, you know what I mean? Big shout to our brother DJ MV in New York with the Breakfast Club. Big shout to DJ Chaotic in Texas, and a whole lot others that, took part of helping out with David Walker with his brand, Positivity Water. Recently, David, congratulations, you end up getting a big deal with Walmart. And I after a while, I gave you a call, and you updated me with some things. Let's go ahead and talk about this Walmart situation, a collaboration with you, Positivity Water, and Walmart.
Sure. I think if the first thing we should address is how extraordinarily rare it is to get into Walmart in general, right? I mean, in bottled water, we are a volume-based business, and sometimes when people start off in bottled water, they'll start off with a local distributor, but they can't get high because their bottler can't satisfy a customer like Walmart that has 5,000 stores, that'll order a couple hundred truckloads a month. Right. So I actually was able to get into a relationship with a bottler who actually sells at that level. The problem is when we first started off early on in 2017 and 2018, 2017, and then we moved into 2020, we didn't have a large retailer. We only had local people, so we just handed it out. People have to try water 16 times before they buy it, or see it 16 times. And the way you shorten that distance is by handing it out. So we went on an early campaign just to give the water out, and I bought truckloads of my own personal dime so that we can get more traction. And so that's when we got people involved to say, hey, one day we'll have a big box retailer. But in the meantime, you have to build ground traction. And actually in 2023, we got enough traction in the city of Atlanta and nationally, thanks to you and DJ MB and the Breakfast Club, that Walmart gave us a shot. And it's literally like it was so rare, it's like moving from the little leagues to the NFL, right? Like in terms of like how rare it is for us to get even a shot at Walmart. But like the NFL, they don't bring you in and make you the starting quarterback. They bring you in and put you on the practice squad. And so that's what Walmart did in 2023. It said, hey, we're going to bring you in. We'll put you on the practice squad. We'll give you 37 stores, which is not a lot when you think about 5,000. But we were very blessed to be in that position where they felt like we had enough traction in Atlanta. And those 37 stores were targeted around Atlanta, even though we've had a national footprint. And so as part of that, we were very excited. 2024, we actually launched in the stores, and our, buying went like this. People came out, supported it with the grand opening. Everyone did a good job. And I was just thinking like, man, we're on our way. We're going to make it in the NFL. Like, this is the Super Bowl of all bottled water. They're the largest bottled water retailer in the world. Like, you don't get any bigger than this.
That's awesome, because for some people that don't know, like Walmart, water is one of their biggest clients, things that they sell in Walmart. So for you to get your brand up in there, kudos and congratulations to that. You know what I mean? So tell me, how is it now? What's going on with it, with the relationship right now?
Well, it's tenuous at best. Once we got into the stores and got exciting early numbers, my thought was like, great, we'll be off the trial period in no time here, and we'll get a lot of stores. And then the election in 2024 happened. All of a sudden, Walmart, who had previously done a lot of things to encourage minority vendors, they'd gone around the country shopping about they wanted to have minority vendors. After the election, they removed their DEI policy, and they did it without talking to any of us vendors. And so a lot of the public has some backlash to that, obviously, because it feels like you're not really supporting your customer base. And for us, being marketed in the Southeast and Atlanta, that was our customer base as well. And it sort of kind of left us in the lurch. It's like, hey, if you pull your DEI, does that mean you're not going to work with minority contractors? Does that mean we're going to not get any stores? Like, what does that mean for us? And without any communication, that leaves you in the dark. And so, ironically, about 2 to 3 weeks after that announcement, they reach out and they say, hey, got some good news. We like your numbers. We're going to move you to 87 stores, which is like still a trial period, but it's a next level up.
Right.
And I said, yeah, but you didn't really, help do me any favors because you insulted our fan base with your DEI policy removal. And the thought was that how am I going to now market this wonderful achievement of being increased to 85 stores when our customer base feels a little distraught and jilted? And I don't blame them, right? I feel the same way. It's kind of like you didn't talk to me, you didn't say what was going to happen. So we had to be clever with our marketing and try to market 85 stores, in new locations as opposed to going out and promoting. And I did a lot of research and looked at other vendors, minority vendors who were in Walmarts and Targets, and watched how they responded. And some of them who were just like, oh, you should come support us anyway. They got eaten up. The public is not hearing it. Our community is not hearing it. It's sort of like, hey, why don't you go to mail order or do other things? And I saw immediately that that was not the route to take, is to try to convince people to not have morals and principles. Instead, the route was to try to push back on the retailer and say, hey, you got to make this right. You got to fix it. If it's not about,
that's not positivity.
no, that's not positivity at all. And if it's not about the vendors, you got to stand up and say something. You got to let us know that you're still down with us and that you still support us. And
Right.
and I shouldn't have to do that message for you, just like I wasn't the one to do the message when you took it away. And so this year we had 85 stores, but as you can expect, when you don't have any the marketing that you need to have to your core base, and you have people who feel a certain way and boycotting, our numbers started to sort of not tail off, but stay stagnant. So
Right.
everybody else can afford to be like this, right? Pepsi,
Right.
Coke, Nestle, they can afford 2 or 3 years of just doing like this. But when you're trying to grow a brand, we need to see this kind of growth.
Right.
And so we had a call with Walmart, and it was sort of like, well, your numbers have settled down. I'm like, no kidding.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I said, well, listen, ironically, we need to get to more stores, right? Because you run at 2 trial levels, periods, that's a loss leader essentially. And I said, we need to get to 1,000 stores. And right now we're in our holding period to see how many stores we get. But if we don't get a significant number of stores, like gets us into at least 1,000, then we won't be able to meet our credit demands. We won't be able to meet our supplier minimum orders that we have to have. And we'll have to sort of have a very tough conversation about the future of positivity with our investors and other people. But for right now, we're waiting to hear from them. Early indications for them was kind of like, well, we increase based upon our numbers of what we see. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm left to kind of sort of, see if they're going to have the heart to say, look, it's time to move positivity to a new level. Their numbers are good given the circumstances, and this might show the community that we are committed to them. Because there's people all over the nation who want positivity, but we're limited to these 85 stores in Alabama and Georgia. So we like to get it expanded. I mean, a lot of people talked about New York, Chicago, it's all over to say, how come we don't have positivity in these Walmarts? And so this might be a chance for them to rectify things. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to get out and kind of thank people. This is really a thank you for me, because like I said, to go from Little Leagues to Walmart, just to make it here, just to have 2 trial seasons is just absolutely phenomenal. Great people all across the country, great organizations we sponsored, and it's been a really, really fun run, super positive people. But when you get to Walmart, that's the Super Bowl, baby. This is it. This is where you start to grow. And if, unfortunately, it's their sales channel, so I have to accept what they give me.
It was amazing how I want to say every first of the month, I would just find 2 cases in front of my door and whatnot. You know what I mean? This was awesome. And then next thing you know, it just stopped. And I was wondering, I was like, man, I wonder if David's having some, hard time with Walmart, if it's giving him some tough times to, do his deliveries to companies. And you answered my question right there. You know, are people able to buy it online? And,
Well, no, that's a great question you had. So a lot of people were able to buy Positivity when we first started off in Walmart. They were able to buy it online, both through our website and through Walmart. And as you know, we did a lot of deliveries to our sponsorships and strategic partners, et cetera. And what happens though, when you get into this trial period of Walmart, you really have to throw everything you have in your company towards making this happen.
right.
And one of those things we had to do was sort of make the decision about our delivery, right? Because delivery actually loses money. We probably were losing $2 to $5 per case, depending on where it was shipped. But it was okay because it was what's in business, you have loss leaders, things that maybe doesn't make sense financially, but it gives your brand more, depth. And that's what we were doing. We were sort of over the years been doing delivery, both local and by mail, at prices that we thought were reasonable, even if they didn't make financial sense, because the idea is that, hey, these are people who support us. We want to get it into their hands. We want them to try it. We want to shorten that distance, to that 16 to 1 ratio. And so we started doing that. But as part of Walmart commitment, we had to make a stop doing that and say, okay, if things go well though, right? If things go well and we get to a lot of stores, we can reignite that, because now you're making money from Walmart. But when you have a small number of stores, a small number of truckload orders, then you have to kind of catch your breath for a couple of years. And that's what we've been doing, is kind of say, hey, everybody, let's hold off on these online orders. Let's hold off on this until we get more traction with Walmart, and then we can kind of come double back around. And that's kind of how business goes in cycles, right? You got your high cycle and low cycle, et cetera. So
this decision with Walmart is not final.
Not as of today. We still haven't got our store count yet, so we'll have to
Walmart, we got to get it together.
That's right.
Walmart, we got to get it together.
As of today, we're still pending. If we get 1,000 stores, man, I'll get back on here and hug and kiss you and everything else. But we also have to plan appropriately, right? We have to plan as Walmart's, until we really build our own infrastructure. And that's really the second phase, if this doesn't go well, is to really work on what I originally started off was to build bottled water plants, right? To get into how do we control this system so that this doesn't happen. I mean, if you think about it, we set ourselves up perfectly with Walmart from a legal perspective. There's 3 key things that we were able to accomplish with Walmart that traditionally does businesses in. Number 1 is payment. Most people might get net 90 or net 120 days, which means they don't pay you for 90 days or 120 days after you deliver. Well, we had net 20, right? A lot of other people get in trouble with freight because they have to deliver to each individual store. Well, we didn't have that. We got to deliver to a distribution center and invoice them, and they delivered to their stores. And then lastly, pricing. We had everyday low price. If you look at our water on the shelf, you have Walmart's brand, which they're never going to let anybody beat that pricing, right? And then you have us, and then we have a big gap between us and the next level of alkaline water, the premium water brands. So we have pricing down. So you have all these 3 things that you say, okay, they're not going to do us in because of this. But then they, they send out this policy and they remove it and they you undercut your base. And then who saw that coming, right? And how do you avoid that, right? I guess you could always raise money to be at some sort of trial level for 5 years, which nobody really does. Or you got to get people who really stand behind your values. And I felt like Walmart was there. I mean, they really did pull us in and say, hey, we want to support the community. We want to bring in more vendors. And so I think it could be considered a nefarious intent to do that and then pull the rug. Maybe it's clumsy. Maybe it's just not thinking it through, but it also needs to get fixed.
But it also sounds familiar with other stores like Target and
it's
you know what I mean, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's the contract we signed when we choose to be in America, right? As you deal with the capitalistic system they have set up. And if you're in bottled water, you better be ready to take an offer from Walmart because it is the top. And so when people say, oh, why don't you try other stores or local stores? And you have a volume requirement that you have to meet, and water's heavy, and you got to sell lots of it. And so when you factor those two things in, there isn't a whole lot of some retailers out there that really match with our pricing and our customer base than Walmart. So it's a situation where you try to control the controllables and then see what happens from there.
Understood.
We had
David,
some great
man.
people though, man. This has been great, man. I just want to say thank you to you, man, because to be people to believe in this brand when we were selling it out of our trunk, essentially, right? And to have it on the Breakfast Club and all the love that people have gotten, all the organizations that have posted so much content. Our Instagram page goes back to 2018 of all the great collaborators. And it really has been a cultural movement to watch people like yourself and all these celebrities that you bring on drink the water. And my kids are like, oh, I saw the water. Or kids, my friends' kids. And, remember, they saw it when it was a concept, my kids. They saw it when I was just saying, hey, let's make positivity. And all the wonderful women who got me into alkaline water because they told me how great it was. And they were all positive. And that's where the name came from. So, man, this has been a wonderful story about an American dream. And hopefully we can keep the dream alive. But if we don't, I want to thank everybody for getting as far as we got it, man. This has been a fantastic journey.
Man, we thank you for bringing this product to the world, Positivity Water, Alkaline Water. And we thank you also for being a great person. Now, you see the bottle. You see it also on the Breakfast Club with my man DJ Envy. All the celebrities are loving it. Shout out to my man Uncle Luke. He loves it. Nori, he loves it. You know what I mean? And everybody else that supported it. David, man, I appreciate you. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch it inside City Trends and some other local stores as well.
Yeah, we're still in Walmart as of today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We'll see what happens over the next month or so. And if some good news comes about, I'll jump back on and thank you. And we'll see what happens, man. But all those entrepreneurs out there, listen, don't get discouraged. You got to just keep moving, keep winning, keep going on. You don't know what's ahead of you. You can't give up, and we're not giving up. We'll see where things work, and this has been great, man. You guys, your audience has been great. You've been great, man, and we're gonna still continue to stay in contact, obviously.
Obviously, of course, and we always gonna keep it positivity.
Drink positivity, baby. Love it.
There you go. David Walker in the building with Positivity, Alkaline Water in the building right here on New Music Mondays. David, thank you for passing through. I appreciate you, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with this throwback joint of mine featuring Jim Jones, Tory Lanez, Brianna Perry, Scott Boy. Yeah, you know my man Scott Free. Yeah, it's called Familiar Faces right here on New Music Mondays, Red Coral app. Download it. David, thank you once again for passing through, my brother.
My man, stay up. Have a fantastic day.